Hey guys, happy Friday. It's July 28th, and this is going to be my first recording for my testimony. Um, just a little recap. It's going to be about where I was raised, what I went through as a child, and how that affected me growing up, and also school, home, church, family, friends, moving, from internet to dating to abuse. What else? Until I get older, what I went through after I moved out of my parents' house and getting into the work field and all of that good stuff. So, like I said before, the purpose for this is to wake some people up and for people to realize that they're not alone, and there is a very powerful God Almighty that made us who we are. Okay, and it's just up to us to accept it or not. And it's very important for us to know why we're here and what's our purpose here. And a lot of people, of course, they don't know, they're confused, wondering why all these bad things happen to them. They're not sure. I was one of them. That's why I wanted to do this documentary about me and my testimony. I've never done this before. This is kind of awkward for me, but it's actually easier for me to do it through video than to actually talk in person because like I said, it's new, and I don't feel eyes on me as I do just recording myself. It's very different. So I really hope that this does open someone's eyes, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to come across. So if you can just bear with me if I'm a little nervous, or if I talk too fast, or I just don't make any sense. I'm really trying to get all my words together. I'm not perfect, and this is not about, how can I explain this? This is not about me, this is about God. This is about what He's done for me. And it's just a big overview of everything that I've been through. Okay, so also I've been going to church and stuff, and I was raised Pentecostal, but there is so much in the Bible that it overwhelms me. I understand where it came from, of course, and I understand when people preach about it, and it all makes sense. The only problem I have is I'm still working on it, so I really don't know my verses like that and whatnot, but I understand where it's coming from. So let's just start. And all right, so a little bit about my parents. My father was pretty much raised by himself. Okay, wasn't a churchgoer or anything like that. My mom, on the other hand, was. My grandparents, her parents, would go to church practically all the time. She was raised Pentecostal, and she was pretty much under that law, that religion law. And it's so different nowadays, but I mean, it still taught you the same things, more or less the concepts now. Okay, it was just very more strict, much more rules, and that's not what God is about. But that's what it is, Pentecostal. So, anyways, they met at a young age, before her 20s, and I want to say they went through a lot together. He was a drug addict. Okay. She had me not too long after they met. And then after I was born and all that, I remember as a child, as a toddler, up to maybe 5, 6, I don't know. I would see a lot of abuse going on, a lot of physical abuse, a lot of verbal abuse, and of course, for a child, that's not a normal setting that you want for kids. Now, she believed she had to stay married to him because that's how she was brought up. No divorce. So she tried to work hard at it as much as she can to stay working in their relationship. As time passed, he was a big alcoholic, and he did provide for us, though. I can't deny that. And I can't deny that he did try to be the best father there was. And he also would sexually abuse her, and I would see that as a child as well. And that, of course, traumatized me for a long time in my life. I knew that wasn't normal, especially seeing how she was trying to get away from all that and push him away and whatnot. I was the only child until about, I want to say 9 or 10, and then my sister came along. And of course, when she was born, she had all these problems because of, I guess, the drug abuse that my dad was having. So I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that I didn't come out the way my sister did. Because the way I see my dad, or saw my dad at that time, I actually thought that, him going through all this stuff, I would have came out the same way. And thank God that I didn't. And I guess he had to make one strong person and one other person to be an example of what that relationship came from. It's not easy. It's kind of hard. I wish I could have been a better sister, a better understanding of the situation with my sister. But when you're a kid, you really don't think of it as much. And you think that they can always get better anyway. So, I really don't know what to expect. So, but I would go to church all the time with my grandparents from my mom's side, of course. They would pick me up on Sundays to go to church every Sunday. Sometimes it would be Tuesdays and Thursdays as well, and Fridays with missionettes. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. There's a girls group for church, and I really enjoyed being around these people. These were my second family, okay, my church family. I met a lot of people there as I grew up, and this was all part in New Jersey. I live in Florida now. So all these people in my life, all these kind of different people, and from my father's side, it would always be a party side to them, very social, outgoing, and a lot of partying and stuff like that, and drinking and dancing and stuff. And I grew up around two different worlds, really. I grew up around that, and I also grew up around church. And sometimes I would be confused as to what's right, what's wrong, and why do I get to do things outside of church it's not going with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going against what the Bible says. So I would be so confused as to what's right and wrong sometimes. Because some people would say one thing and then other people would say another. So I don't, as a child, especially when you grow up like that, you really don't know what, how to explain things or how to come across all that. You're a child, you don't know, you're getting things from different places, different areas. So anyways, it was pretty confusing. Let me see what else. I had to write some stuff down in case I forget or get lost of where I was going. School, school wise was kind of easy for me at first, but um, I would actually get teased a lot, pretty much for my clothing or because I was fat or whatever. And it's funny because I was chubby, but I wasn't like, oh my goodness, 600 pounds fat. But you know how kids can be. Um, and I really did not take that very well. I would get depressed a lot. I would think that nobody liked me, especially when I would see other people having boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. And I would feel like, hey, I want that. I mean, I didn't necessarily want what my parents had, but I wanted something better. And I just would always look for that. I honestly don't know what kind of void I was trying to fill, or maybe it was just a thing where I saw other people do, so I just wanted to also be included into that. Um, but yeah, that's how much it was for me in school. And I did have friends every now and then, but we moved a lot. So the only people that I probably stayed friends, you can say, with is from church because I would always go to the same church. So, of course, those people were always around and in my life. We went through ups and downs. We used to do a lot of things together, amusement parks, beaches, play pool in my basement, stuff like that. It was really cool. Um, and then as you get older, things change, of course. Um, I started thinking a lot about going online and talking to other people, and I thought that was pretty cool too. So I was like, hey, because obviously I'm more comfortable with online stuff and video stuff rather than actually be going and confronting someone. Um, but I mean, that was how I was because I'm so shy. So I would talk to people online, and I started this at 16, and I wanted to have a special person in my life, and I was hoping that maybe that would complete me. Maybe it'll help me more with what I'm supposed to do in life because I always wanted a family and have a good job in a house, and that was my goal. I really didn't think much of anything else. And as a teenager, it gets harder. High school wasn't that easy for me. It was okay. I barely passed, but I passed. Um, all I really focused on was trying to date, really. And I never had that luck, really, because, like I said, I wasn't one of those girls that was like, oh, well, I want to date her, or I like her, or a very noticeable person. Um, And I guess all this time I never really thought that it just was not the right time until, of course, I got older and understood why things happen the way they do. Okay, so we ended up moving to Florida after graduation. I lost my virginity at 18, and I really thought that this guy was the one for me. Um, it just so happens that my father threatened him, told him to stay away, and I really thought that he was the one. That's why I lost my virginity to him, and I really didn't want to do that until I got married. I at least believed in that part from the word, and to be united with this one person for the rest of your life. But I don't know what happened. I guess just the way that we were supposed to move to Florida, and he was supposed to go as well. So it all just fell apart. Um, After that happened, I felt like I lost everything. I was depressed. I didn't want to know anything about anyone. I didn't want to go to church. I didn't want to have new friends or go to a new church here. Um, I thought my life was done for, honestly. I was like, great. Everything that I knew and loved is in Jersey. I have nothing in Florida except for family, but what else do I have here? And luckily, I had friends that were like second cousins or cousins by marriage, and I was able to mingle with them and see what Florida had to offer, see what it's all about down here. And I ended up going to college and whatnot, but it didn't really go all that well. So I'm gonna leave it right there for now. I'm running out of time. I have to get back to work. I'm on my lunch break, but hopefully this part right here will leave you knowing that I just felt like I lost it all, and I didn't realize that God was actually having a different plan for me. And even though I still had to go through more struggles, he was still there no matter what. And I was lost. I was really lost, and I don't regret anything because, like I said, he had it all planned out, and he knew what he was doing with my life. So I'll leave it there for this first session, this series. I don't know how many videos I might do. It's all depending how long I'm going to do the videos for. But for today, this will be it. And trust me, there's more to come, and explanations as to why I had to go through what I went through and how I thought I was lost and alone, and I really wasn't. And it took me a while, and for some of you, it might take a while too. But guess what? It's never too late. So I'll leave it there, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And if you guys want to subscribe and see when I'll go ahead and post another one up, you can be notified if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And have a great weekend. And God bless, and we'll talk soon. Thanks. And you can share this to anyone who you think might be able to be helpful. Who it might help someone. All right, guys. Bye.